Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at Maserati of St. Petersburg. First time doing Maseratis here, and we're gonna do it in a big way. I got a 2019 Maserati Levante GTS. One thing you should know right off the bat, those letters, GTS, means underneath the hood, 550 horsepower from a twin turbo V8. But before we dive into this Maserati, let's talk a little history, shall we? First of all, you should know that Maserati started all the way back in 1913. Two brothers got together in Bologna, Italy, and decided to start this iconic brand. Since then, they were off like gangbusters, especially when it came to Grand Prix racing. Maserati was doing the business on racetracks throughout Europe. One thing that's very fascinating that I love about Maserati is that iconic emblem on the front nose of each and every car. It's that trident, Neptune's trident. When you see that trident, you know you're looking at a Maserati. And if you've ever wondered, well, why did they use a trident? It's because back in Bologna, those two brothers that I told you about that started this fable brand, in the center of the town was this big, huge fountain that paid tribute to Neptune. And of course, Neptune isn't going to be seen unless he has that trident, and that's why it's on the nose of this vehicle. Since then, those Grand Prix victories, lots of great models, historic, such magical engineering, power and performance. In the 21st century, you have some choices. You can go with a Gran Turismo, you could go with a Ghibli, or guess what? Now they're in the SUV segment of the car industry. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2019 Maserati Levante GTS. Right off the bat, Italian styling at its finest. I love the very small LED headlight housings. I like the way, I think it was smart, the way that they took the design and kind of brought it right into that top grille area. Very, very sinister look from the front of this. Functional air ducting and air curtain on the side with the fog lamps really gives it such a unique look, separate from any other SUV. As we come across the front, there's that grille that I was telling you about, that concave vertical bars with that trident, such an iconic logo. I love the way that they have the open mesh lower portion of the grille and a very, very tasteful lower lip spoiler that's integrated right into this front fascia. I'm telling you, this thing just looks so mean, and it should be mean because underneath that hood is all that power. Speaking of the hood, as we come up, you have another iconic Maserati logo here. That seems to be the word of the day, iconic. Count how many times I say it. As you'll notice, the body lines right in that beautiful hood on each side, and then you have a very subtle one on the left and the right. Very nicely done. As we come around the bend here, you can see that headlight housing I was telling you about. Look at how they took the Maserati script and put it right in there. Very nice touch. From the side, this SUV really has a sporty look to it. One thing that I think is smart, there's no black plastic anywhere on this vehicle. Everything is painted in this particular one in this beautiful white color, really shining nicely in the Florida sun. Talk about shining nicely, look at these wheels. I love the design. There's that Trident logo again, right smack dab in the center. 21-inch wheel. Love the dark gray with the brushed aluminum. That 6-piston Brembo caliper with the Maserati script on it. It's just a timeless design. And there's certain things, if you look, that's the history. That name is so historic. Cross-drilled and fully ventilated rotors on this Levante GTS. So not only are you gonna be able to perform in a straight line, this thing is gonna brake, and it's gonna brake in a way that you could actually stop the rotation of Earth. That's how much braking power you got. This particular one, all-wheel drive, and it has adaptive suspension in there that you can actually change with different settings. So that really speaks of the performance about this SUV. Now, as we go into the fender, another tradition in the Maserati brand are the ventings on the side. Very nicely done, little bit of shiny chrome. Really think that that is what makes this brand so special, that when you drive it, you're not just driving an SUV, you're driving an institution, an Italian institution. But as we go into the roof line, beautiful panoramic sunroof, which we'll show you more when we get inside. I like the way they took the white, little bit of flat black, that's okay. I like the turn signals, so slim and trim in there. You have the chrome all the way around, top and bottom. And then I also like the lower sill, the way it kind of extends and then it disappears as you work your way to the back of the car. As we work our way back, one thing that's so unique, if you notice, there's not a physical outside separation of the rear passenger glass and the quarter window glass. It all is almost like one seamless piece of glass. Love that look. You don't see that a lot on different SUVs. And I really like the shape that they're doing on the back end of the quarter window. There's our Maserati logo on that rear quarter panel. That's something that I don't care what Maserati you're looking at, you're always gonna see that trident. As we come around the bend, look at the lines. This is, Italians do it in a way that only Italians know how to do it. Beautiful style. They could have just kept that flat. No, they took the lines and then watch this. Integrated it right into the LED taillight housing. That to me says, hey, we sat down and we thought about it. That really hits the nail on the head. Really clean back from the rear. You have a tasteful low roof spoiler that actually has some functionality to it. Really like that. They integrated the third brake light nicely into it. And then as we work our way down, that Maserati script, Levante badging, and yes, thank you so much. I love Italy. I like the way they went with the quad exhaust. How many times do we see vacuum cleaner style exhaust or even exhaust that aren't even real? It's just built into the rear bumper bodywork. This is real exhaust, quad tip on both sides, nicely painted diffuser area, very clean from the back, just like the front. Speaking of the front, let's go check out the business underneath the hood of this Levante GTS. All right, guys, the hood is popped on this Italian, and underneath the hood, there is that pasta rocket. What you're looking at is a 3.8 liter V8 engine, twin turbocharged, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 550 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque. This thing, even though it weighs 4,784 pounds, rockets 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, top speed 181 miles an hour. And at the end of the day, if you're worried about gas, you better have a gas card with you. 14 miles per gallon in the city, 18 on the highway. To tie it all in together to get the power to the ground, it's got that Q4 intelligent all-wheel drive, and like I mentioned earlier, that Skyhook performance suspension. What can I say? They brought the styling from the outside to this engine cover. That engine is drop dead sexy. And I've never said that very much on Rady's Rides about an engine cover. I like the way they brought some red. There's Neptune's trident, the Maserati script. Very, very sexy engine cover, very sexy engine compartment. Let's hear how sexy this Italian sounds. Let's go ahead and fire up the Levante. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Maserati Levante GTS. I know you're probably asking yourself right about now, Joe, what is the MSRP on this particular Levante? So the way that it sits with all the options, it's a GTS, MSRP of around $125,000. Definitely though, give Maserati of St. Petersburg a call, because I'm telling you, they're ready to give this to their forever home. So if you want a special SUV that's got that Italian flavor, this could be the one for you. But let's go ahead, check out the door panels. Like I said, nothing like an Italian vehicle. I love the red, I love the black contrast stitching, little bit of gloss black, and that silver trim, so tasteful, so nice. Everywhere you touch is soft material. It's got a Harman Kardon sound system and decent looking speaker covers. I would like to see a little bit more exotic speaker cover to kind of tie in the whole thing, but you know what? Still looking good. As we go from the door panel to the dash, beautiful leather, that stitching, little bit of gloss black, and some of that silver trim. Here's another icon. Well, actually part of the icon is that Maserati analog clock, right smack dab in the center. It's an oval shape, really classy. Here's your infotainment system. It's a little bit on the slower side, but you know what? It's actually pretty quick reacting once you start getting through the system itself. You could get into your climate control. This obviously has dual climate control, ventilated seats, heated seats, all that good stuff. There's your navigation. You could go right into view map and whatnot, but very nicely set up and easy to get to. I like the way they brought the Levante logo in there. If you don't want to do AC controls on the screen, guess what? You have all your AC controls nice and slim right here. Very nice touch. Tasteful sliding lid, USB in there, aux, nice felt lined. I really like that. You slide it back, gloss black. I know how some of you feel about it, but it looks very classy. You open it up, 2 cup holders and your 12 volts. And this, I don't know if you know what this is, boys and girls, this is actually a cigarette lighter. So you see that part right there on the tip? You push that in, you push it down. When it pops back up, it's gonna be heated. Maybe I'll leave it in there and I'll make it come back out once it pops. But you have your wheel control for your infotainment that gets you into whatever functions you want, which is very nice. This to me, ooh, it's ready. It's like popcorn. I don't know if you can see if that's picking up, but that's red on the tip. That's to light your cigarette or whatever else you're lighting. God only knows. But something that you don't see very often in cars anymore. Seal that back up. You have some buttons over here to go into those different suspension settings. You could put this into different drive modes, which is really wonderful. Open up that exhaust. You got an off-road setting, shut off the traction control. This is controlling that 8-speed automatic. I like the leather and the stitching, and another Trident logo there, and then electric e-brake. My only problem is this is a little bit on the cheaper side. I would like to see this be like brushed aluminum. I think that would really be extremely tasteful. Actually, this whole thing be brushed aluminum. I think that would look amazing. Nicely padded armrests. Open up the Bombay doors. You got another felt lining in here and lots of room. You could put 2 super big gulps in here. You got a 12 volt, very, very nice. I don't know if you noticed this little switch. This actually has the air suspension to where you could actually bring down and raise and lower the back of the car and whatnot. So that actually is a nice touch as well for different settings of where you're driving or what you're putting in your vehicle. Seats, like I said, Italians know how to do it. I love the style, the leather, the stitching, everything about it is perfect, and I love the color. I think this is the color to get. If you're getting the white, you gotta go with the red interior. Alcantara all over the headliner, big panoramic sunroof, very nicely done. One zonk I'm gonna give it besides the plastic is this mirror. It needs a frameless mirror, especially at a price point of $125,000. But why don't you come on over to the business end and I'll show you what's going on behind the wheel of this Levante. All right guys, business end of the Levante GTS. One thing I wanna start off with and just show off this key fob. This is actually a pretty sexy key fob. Also, it's got a weight to it that I'm telling you, it weighs a good 1.5 pounds. Not really, but it has a nice weight to it, and it's got all your controls on the back, but very nice key fob. Of course, you're gonna get full 10-way electric assist seating. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom, even with the panoramic sunroof. Also, you'll notice the pedals all have that nice brushed aluminum down there on the pedals, and as O'Neill backs away, also on the lower sill, it's got the Maserati script that lights up at night. Very nice touch. And then, you know me and steering wheels. First of all, let me raise this up here. It does have full electric tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but I love the thickness of it. I like the simple design. These buttons are a little on the cheaper side, so I am gonna zonk it, but the actual functionality of the wheel is dead on. Like I showed you, you have that electric assist. I'm gonna bring this back down for O'Neill. Paddles. These are metal paddles attached to the steering column to get you up and down that 8-speed automatic transmission, and then the gauges. They're sexy. Analog tach, analog speedometer, and then you have that digital display in the center. Let me show you what I was telling you about. Here's where you could go into your different suspension settings. Let me go ahead and back out of this. And then you could also get into sport mode. So it shows you an image of the vehicle. Now we're in sport mode. I can hear the exhaust open up and all that good stuff. Sports suspension mode is on. So that's all from behind the wheel, right on the center console. Nice touch. But if you're ready, let's go ahead and see how your passengers going to be enjoying life in this Maserati. All right, guys, backseat time in the Levante. You know what? It was actually very easy to get into the back seat of this vehicle. Nice opening for the door. You could see the amount of sun coming in from the panoramic sunroof, so you'll get your vitamin D sitting back here. Backs of the seats, very attractive. I don't like this net material. I wish they used something else, but the rest of the seat looks beautiful. Here's our little command center. Little bit on the cheaper side of things. I would like to see a little bit more functionality out of our command center, but you got your rear passenger AC. I do like this. Open that up, you got your 2 USB and another 12 volt in there, and it closes up nice and clean. Seats, very, very comfortable. I really like that they could actually be adjusted, so you could actually have them come up if you want to sit a little bit more upright as you're going down the road, or you can lean back a little bit. Another thing, very nice armrest, softly padded. You got your 2 cup holders, plus you actually have a pass-through. You see that? Watch. Now you see my hand? Now you don't. That's because there's a pass-through to get into the back area. Maybe have a cooler back there with water bottles or whatnot for the kids, maybe a sippy cup, because you don't want them spilling anything on this fine Italian leather, that's for sure. But that's our little cubby hole area. And you know what? You close it up and you're ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and check out the cargo area and see what kind of room we have. All right, guys, obviously when you're going SUV, you're probably gonna want some room. Let's go ahead and see what kind of room we have in the back of this Levante. Now, I actually like opening this because it's fairly on the quick side, gives you a little bit of warning so that you don't smack yourself in the face. But you know what? Look at that nice opening. I was kind of a little worried because with that fast slope back, I thought that that would really cramp our style with room. But as you can see, nothing to be cramped about. You got plenty of room. Those seats will fold down. Really like that large opening. Very nice soft carpet. You lift this up. We have some nice storage trays in here and whatnot. You lift this up, and then there's your spare for your Levante, and the battery is in the back. So you put that back in, that nice little storage tray, close that up, and there you go. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Out of Maserati of St. Petersburg, we're in the 2019 Levante GTS, and we're off. The all-wheel drive in this thing makes this car launch like an Italian cruise missile. This thing just sticks, and it's an intelligent all-wheel drive system, so that's gonna maximize the power getting to the ground. Here we are at a dead stop. I'm gonna left foot brake, just go to throttle. Hit throttle, and we're off. Oh my God, the shifts, the sound, the power from this car, from that engine, that twin turbo V8 is ridiculous. Unbelievable, the engineering behind this car, and those pizza-sized rotors are being clamped down by those 6-piston calipers and bringing me to a perfect stop. Pedal feedback is amazing on the brake pedal. I could hear a little bit of pops and bangs from the exhaust as the automatic transmission downshifts. Seating position is so comfortable in here. I love where everything's placed, and any of those zonks that I gave about the cheaper plastic, you're not even thinking about in this car. That because of how it drives. It's all about the experience in this thing. That is what is so amazing. Now, with the stick, you could put it into manual mode. You just slide it over. You could use the actual shifter to go up and down the gears, or I'm gonna use the paddles that are mounted to the actual steering column. My only zonk at this point right now is gonna be, when it comes to driving, is gonna be where the start stop button is. It's all the way on the left hand side, down low, and it's a bunch of plastic. That's gonna be a zonk from a driving standpoint, but everything else you'll see as we go down this road here. So on throttle, fast shifts, on the brakes, downshift, tip it in. Wow, 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 wow. This, oh my God, this Levante is out of control. Remember, we're talking about 4,700 pounds. We're talking about that all-wheel drive, but we're also talking about 550 horsepower. Literally mind-blowing. I feel like my brain has just turned into pasta sauce. I honestly believe that. My frontal lobe is now spaghetti sauce because of just how insane this thing is to drive. So if you want something that is actually going to show up some sports cars, but yet you need that SUV size, this one is out of control. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Literally ridiculous, the power coming from this Maserati, and of course the sound. And then, like I said, you're driving an icon, you're driving an institution, you're part of the Italiano Familia, you're that part of that family of Maserati. Just, it leaps off the line. Handling is great, suspension is doing its business, keeping me nice and planted, holding a great line on the brakes. Nice, the way the transmission flips the throttles, and then look at this, stop on a dime. I'm just giving everybody change. There you go. That's how amazing that this Levante GTS is. It literally is mind-blowing. All right, guys, one more time through some twisty bits. Here we go, second gear, fourth gear, on the brakes, downshift, turn it in, very nice. That all-wheel drive gripping, you're hitting the pedals, and you're off like a rocket. So smooth, really wonderful. Oh my God, this car. This thing is a monster. But we are back to Maserati of St. Petersburg. We are gonna wrap this one up. I really don't wanna stop. I wanna go to a local track and just show up a bunch of sports cars, because I'm telling you, with this thing, that's exactly what you're gonna do. But we're now back to Maserati of St. Petersburg, so we're gonna wrap this up. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a magical day here at Maserati of St. Petersburg. Definitely got to thank Thomas, Bobby, and everybody else here at the dealership. So accommodating to bring this GTS. It was sitting inside the showroom. They had to move about 20 different cars, but they got it because they knew that this is the one that the Radies Rides fans are going to want to see. So thanks to all of them. If these are the types of things that you like to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rides merch. Every bit helps. Speaking of help, can't do this without O'Neill working the camera like a champ. He's got a little bit of Italian flavor now. He wants to go and get some Italian food. So he's thinking maybe Carrabba's or Olive Garden. I don't know. Maybe we'll hit one of those mom and pop style places, give him some real Italian food. But thank you, O'Neill, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.